The moment the gate doors closed, tension filled the cabin. A businessman stood up, shouting, "Get off this plane!" His voice was sharp, his words venomous, aimed at a quiet black passenger who hadn't said a thing. Phones came out. Passengers froze. And the man he insulted? He didn't respond. He just smiled, as if he knew something no one else did. Minutes later, when the captain collapsed mid-boarding, the airline called for help, and that same passenger stood up. What happened next left every passenger silent and one man begging for mercy. The outburst started before takeoff. "Get off this plane!" The man in seat 2A shouted, voice cutting through the cabin like a blade. Passengers froze mid-motion. A flight attendant hurried forward, whispering, "Sir, please lower your voice." But he didn't. "I paid for peace and quiet. Not to sit next to—" He stopped short, glaring at the calm black man in the aisle seat. That man, Captain Elijah Brooks, said nothing. He simply adjusted his wristwatch and smiled faintly, eyes steady, unbothered. The tension was suffocating. Someone whispered, "This is unbelievable." The shouting passenger, Charles Renner, a well-known venture capitalist, turned to the flight attendant. "Move him to economy. People like that don't belong up here." The attendant's voice trembled. "Sir, he has a confirmed seat." "Then confirm another one." Phones came out. Recordings began. But Elijah didn't flinch. He simply looked at Renner and said quietly, "You might want to sit down." "The weather's rough at this altitude," Renner sneered. "Don't threaten me." "I wouldn't dream of it." Before anyone could respond, the intercom crackled. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking." A pause. The voice faltered mid-sentence, then cut off. Gasps echoed. A second later, a flight attendant ran down the aisle toward the cockpit. "Medical emergency! The captain collapsed!" Chaos erupted. Passengers murmured. Someone screamed. The first officer rushed out, pale and shaking. "We need a certified pilot on board now." Everyone looked around, panicked. No one moved. Then Elijah stood up slowly, pulled out a leather ID folder, and handed it to the attendant. "Captain Elijah Brooks, Air Atlantic senior pilot, type-rated on this model. I can take command." The attendant's eyes widened. Yes." The cabin went silent. Every camera turned. The man who had just been told to get off this plane was now being escorted to the cockpit to fly it. As Elijah walked past Renner, he stopped for a heartbeat. "Still want me off the plane?" he asked quietly. Renner said nothing. His mouth moved, but no words came out. Inside the cockpit, Elijah took the captain's seat. His movements were calm, deliberate. "Systems check complete," he said to the trembling first officer. "Let's get these people home safely." Minutes later, the plane lifted off. The voice that came over the intercom was steady, composed, unmistakable. "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your new captain speaking. We've had a bit of an unexpected change in command, but you're in safe hands. Sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight." A ripple of applause filled the cabin. Renner sank deeper into his seat, his face ghost white. At cruising altitude, a flight attendant approached the cockpit with a note. "Sir, the passenger in 2A requests to speak with you privately." Elijah took a long breath. "Tell him I'll see him when we land." 5 hours later, the plane touched down smoothly. Cameras waited at the gate. Word had already spread online. "Passenger insults pilot mid-flight. Airline scandal breaks at 30,000 feet. When Elijah stepped out, flashes blinded the air. He ignored them, focusing instead on professionalism. But the true moment of justice wasn't in front of cameras. It was in the private terminal minutes later. Renner stood there, pale, sweating, trying to speak. "Captain Brooks, I didn't realize—" "That I was human?" Elijah asked, voice calm but razor-sharp. Renner swallowed hard. "It was a mistake." "No," Elijah said softly. "It was a choice. The same kind of choice people make every day, to assume worth based on appearance." Renner looked down. "I'll issue a public apology." "You already did," Elijah said. He nodded toward the reporters outside. "They heard everything when you begged to meet me." The next morning, headlines exploded worldwide. "Arrogant CEO insults off-duty pilot, gets flown by him hours later." His company's board suspended him within 24 hours. Sponsors withdrew deals. Stock prices plummeted, but Elijah stayed silent. When journalists begged for interviews, he refused. Instead, he released a single statement. Respect doesn't need an audience, but disrespect always finds one. Weeks later, the airline invited him to lead its diversity and ethics program. His first act was to install new flight policies, mandatory cultural training for all crew and passengers on corporate charters. But Elijah didn't stop there. He turned every department meeting into an open forum where attendants, technicians, and junior staff could speak freely. Hierarchy without humanity, he said, is just controlled arrogance. Within months, his quiet reforms began rippling across the industry. Rival airlines requested access to his framework. Aviation schools adopted his new Empathy in Command course, teaching future pilots how emotional intelligence saves lives as surely as skill. During one press event, a trainee pilot nervously asked, "Captain Brooks, what if people never change?" Elijah smiled. "Then we keep flying higher until they have to look up." Soon, his story reached Congress. Lawmakers invited him to testify before a Senate subcommittee on ethical standards in commercial travel. When he spoke, he didn't use anger or accusation, just truth. The skies belong to everyone. But the way we treat people determines how high we deserve to fly. The committee rose in a standing ovation. His recommendations passed unanimously. After the hearing, reporters flooded the steps outside the Capitol. Elijah said only one line before walking away. "The sky isn't divided by color, only by altitude. And respect determines yours." Air Atlantic launched a global campaign around his name. Airports renamed training halls after him. Pilots quoted his words in classrooms. And the very man who once screamed, "Get off this plane," watched his empire collapse while Elijah's legacy soared above it. A year later, at a major aviation summit, Elijah received the International Medal of Leadership. As he stepped on stage, the host asked, "Captain Brooks, when that man humiliated you in front of everyone, how did you stay so calm?" Elijah paused. "Because storms are loudest when they're weakest. You just have to wait for the wind to run out." The room erupted into applause that felt like thunder. Back in his office, sunlight poured across a framed photograph of the plane he flew that day. Beneath it, a plaque read, "Dignity doesn't demand recognition. It simply reveals the truth." And somewhere in the digital archives of 1,000 airlines, that same video, the confrontation, the reversal, the rise, remained a reminder. That true power doesn't board the plane. It commands it.